Talk Sports Radio with the sports guy, Jordan Armani. Brought to you by Gino's Pizzeria on 94.9 Bob FM.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports Radio, brought to you by Gino's Pizzeria. Joining me now, the former voice of 94.9 Bob FM, making his triumphant return. Mathew Ian Laser Gun Ampersand Sloane Soprano Sloane Cold Steve Austin. What's going on, brother? How you been?
Cold. Before we go any further, we have some contractual obligations to consider.
All right,
Gino's sponsoring the show. That means you send me some wings, yes?
I'll send you wangs. Y'all got wangs?
Wangs today, man.
Y'all got wangs? Hey, buddy. Pete, when you come back, your eventual return, similar to when Triple H came back in the early 2000s after tearing his quad. When you come back, it will be triumphant, and we'll go to Gino's. We'll get some Pete's. And all you and K-Man, of course, should get some Pete's from Gino's. Best slice on the island. How are you, buddy? What's going on?
I'm good, mate. It's cold. It's boring. It's that time of the year where, there's no football, soccer, if you will.
Yeah.
There's no hockey. I mean, do you care about cricket? I don't care about cricket. That's about all that's going on. Baseball, I don't like baseball. So it's going to be a long summer. I guess the next thing we got to look forward to is some preseason Premier League friendlies happening in the States start July and August. Then the new season kicks off, and then we've got NFL. So it's a long summer, but we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. A great time to launch a sports radio show, wouldn't you say?
It absolutely is, because this is you know what happens now, don't you?
What's that?
Transfer rumors, big boy.
That's
Transfer
right.
Rumors.
Let's start there. PSG wants to get off Neymar's contract. Are you surprised?
Of course not, and he doesn't want to be there. It's a PSG. It's a footballing equivalent of a Haaland Globetrotters, though. They play some nice exhibition football, but nobody takes them seriously. They got that much money. They're breaking all kinds of rules. I can see them getting into some serious trouble over the next couple of years. And I think Neymar's advisors are like, get out of there while you can still get paid.
Where does he go?
He goes back to Barcelona, without a doubt. Madrid. He won't go to Madrid. Madrid have made their priority the absolute waste of time. That is Paul Pogba for United. Solskjaer has told the United board, just sell him to the highest bidder, get him out of Old Trafford. He's part of the sickness that is running through the veins of Edison Mancunian at the minute, which I'm obviously very happy about. But I can see Pogba. If Pogba goes to Madrid, Neymar goes back to Barca, Coutinho goes the other way to Manchester United. And I think that's what's going to happen. There's a ton of other rumours, but the problem with United, that's a good point. And I know there's a lot of United fans in Cayman. Nobody wants to play for them. Absolutely nobody. They finished sixth. The club is ill. It is sick. And sick in a bad way, sick, what it used to be, not what it means now, right? Sick as in awful. Sick as in a drowning ship. So, a sinking ship.
Even after Ole had a nice hot finish?
Say what?
Even after Ole had that nice finish as manager?
Well, he didn't really. He came in and there was a lot of romance and a lot of feel good. And I rate him as a player, and I don't really rate him as a coach. I like him as a person, But the reality of dealing with, one of the biggest known sports franchises in any sport globally, the pressure of that, the ridiculously entitled fans, they're worse than Leafs fans. They're ridiculously entitled. They demand so much.
It's pretty bad.
And United are not in a position to deliver.
Really? Strong words.
So that's how I see it. Yeah, and the Premier League, it's going to get more ridiculous this summer. It's bubbling at the minute. There's a lot of potential deals. And even Klopp at Liverpool, who said, I don't want to be one of those managers who just keeps spending money. And he said in an interview this week, I think it's somewhere on a German TV thing, he said, if we want to compete again next year, unfortunately, we're going to have to keep up with the big boys, and we're going to have to spend the silly money again just to keep pace. So that's the way the Premier League's all right now. It's ridiculous. I think they really need to take leaf out of North American sports book and start. We need some salary caps. We need some kind of draft system. So the big clubs are just getting further and further and further away.
You don't sound like someone whose team won the UEFA Champions League. I know we talked. I had you in on a hot take, but honestly, I watched it. I watched the first half. I went home and I fell asleep. I didn't even watch the second half.
Dude, I'm a Liverpool fan. I was watching it in Liverpool with some other Liverpool supporters, and I felt the same way. The kind of romance of being in the European final was paled a little bit because you're playing another English team. You're playing Spurs, and all disrespect intended when I say this. When you get to the European Cup final, you want to play a European giant, or at least somebody with some European tradition. Ajax have been there. Ajax have been prominent in European football since the 70s. And I really wanted to play Ajax. It's a much bigger occasion. Spurs, nobody cares. It felt like an FA Cup final. And history will say that was Liverpool's sixth European Cup trophy, which is all very nice and so on. But I didn't enjoy the game. I wasn't particularly excited about winning it because it was Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
And after the madness of the two-leg semi-final with Barca, it would have had to have been some final to compare to that. You know what I'm saying? But
well, how about Chelsea? I mean, if you're an Italian football manager, I guess that's like kryptonite. First Conte, now Sarri leaves after one season. What's up with that? Was that always in the tea leaves, or was the marriage not a good marriage, a divorce, or what?
It's Abramovich. He's the most ridiculously demanding owner, and Sarri's gone. They're talking about Chelsea's a job that unless it's almost a poison chalice in a way. You've got to deliver so much so quickly, and you're managing. A lot of people don't like Manchester United. A lot of people don't like Liverpool, but the majority of the free-thinking world hates Chelsea. It's a despicable club, so you've got to go there. You know that everybody hates you anyway. If you do win something, people will hate you a little bit more. It's a job nobody wants. Apart from Frank Lampard wants it, obviously. He's a championship side Derby. For Derby's sake, which is a cool little town, the football club has a lot of tradition, and I would like to see Lampard at least give it one more go to get those guys promoted next year, because I'd like to see Derby in the Premier League. I'd like to see that town in the Premier League. But if Frank goes to Chelsea, that's going to hurt Derby, and I think Frank would do a pretty terrible job at Chelsea also. I think it's much too big for him, much too soon.
Right, because he just This is just finished his second year with Rangers, yeah.
Gerrard's at Rangers. Lampard.
Oh, Gerrard. Sorry, I misheard you. Sorry, just Canadian guy. Sorry, guys, don't crucify me.
You're good, buddy. Stevie G can stay at Rangers because the Rangers are the enemy. And now that I cherished him as a Liverpool captain, but now he's going to play for Rangers. He can never come back to Anfield as far as I'm concerned. That deal's done. That's gone. But as for Lamps, he should stay at Derby. He's still got a lot of learning to do. He did a good job of getting him as close to promotion as he did this season. But he should have another run at it and see if he can do some good with Derby before considering the one of the most difficult jobs in football, which is Chelsea. So
run him down. Give me the top 5 transfer predictions that you think is going to happen before next season.
Wow. I think Pogba's got to go to Madrid because they really want him, and Madrid have shown over the years that when they really want someone, they will get him. But Real Madrid are also after Eriksen from Spurs. I can see that happening too. I think Madrid are going to go all out after winning 3 Champions Leagues on a bounce to not even be in the final this last season. They're going to go all out to do a domestic sweep and to be back as a force in Europe. So I think Eriksen will go from Spurs to Madrid. But Spurs have said Asensio, Madrid's 22-year-old Spanish winger, he's lightning, he's brilliant. Spurs will want him as any part of the deal, so I can see that happening. The other big one, I think Coutinho, if Pogba goes to Madrid, then United need something. They need to replace him with some kind of magic. After this kid from Palace, I don't think he's the man. I think they'll go for Coutinho, who's shown that he can do it in the Premier League. And as much as I'd hate to see him in a United shirt, because that'll make me cry myself to sleep at night. But as a football move for United, I think it's a clever one. So that's 4. You wanted 5. I don't know, man. I think City will have a bit of a clear out. I think because City are going to just try and bite everybody as they do every summer. And I think the first casualty of that, I'm going to say Philippe Delph. I think Delph, the English midfielder, I think City will get rid of him, make some room. But they don't need to get rid of anyone because they've got all the money in the world. But again, these financial fair play rules, I hope they start coming in. And you know, as a supporter of one of the bigger clubs, I'd happily, see some kind of capping on this ridiculous money because it's getting a little bit nuts now.
So do you like Hazard to Madrid?
What's that?
Hazard to Madrid.
Yeah, Pogba's going to Madrid.
What do you think of it?
Pogba, I think it's good for United. I think Pogba seems part of the sort of prevailing sickness that has happened at Old Trafford. I think it's a great signing for Madrid. If he can be managed, he played much better on the Solskjaer than he did on the Mourinho. I mean, that's a given. I think Solskjaer gave him a little bit of his confidence back, but he's repaid it towards the end of the season with some kind of lackluster performances and a little bit of attitude, and that's why Solskjaer said to the board, just get him out of my dressing room, he's poison. And I think that the healing process at United isn't going to happen next season, probably not the season after. I think they're 3 years away. 3 years away from challenging for a title, probably a season away from challenging the top 4. But one of the first things to do is get rid of Pogba, get all the money in the world, let him go to Madrid, where he can be a superstar, and they'll sell him on in 2 years to a club in Turkey or China.
What about Eden Hazard to Madrid, which already happened?
If the only way you could get me to watch Chelsea, who I despise, hatred. I hate them. But I would watch Hazard play for anybody. He's a genius. He's one of the most watchable footballers that I can remember. Certainly one of the best players to ever grace the Premier League. He's going to do great work at Madrid. He's fantastic. That's a massive loss for Chelsea. But, that's good news for me. At least I can watch him a little bit more now because he's not wearing that horrid blue shirt.
Do you think that Madrid will move on from Gareth Bale then, or?
I think Bale's going to go. If there was some rumours about him being part of a deal to take Neymar to Madrid, but Neymar really doesn't want to go to Madrid. But I think Madrid has to get rid of Bale. Zidane has pretty much said can't really be bothered with him. Bale's agent and Bale himself are saying, well, I'm just going to stay and get paid. But I think Madrid will win out in that little tussle, and Bale will move on. Probably I'd like to see him at a Premier League club. If West Ham could get hold of him, if the Irons could pick up Gareth Bale somehow, with some kind of crazy deal.
That's what I want.
It'd be amazing for them. I think he's the kind of player that the Irons would love, would absolutely adore. Because they love the attacking football, they love the brilliant football out at West Ham. So that's where I'd like to see him go. I don't want to see him at United, obviously. If Spurs lose Eriksen and maybe somebody else, I don't know, they might look at him. Liverpool would be interested. I don't see any of the top clubs perhaps even United want him. So West Ham, I think that's a perfect move. Let's start that rumour now. Let's be you.
I'm trying. I've been trying to get that going.
On the grapevine, we'll start with the Chinese whispers. Bale is going to West Ham. It's nailed on. It's a done deal.
I've been saying that. I love a good rumor. Our good friend Matt Yarnell, the other day at Quiz Night, I was hosting Quiz Night. He said, "You know what we got to get?" He said, "Maxi Gomez, the guy from Celta Vigo. What do you think of him?"
Okay.
What do you think?
That's another good move. West Ham, it's another season for me of consolidation, but I see them finishing the top half of the table. Maybe with Bale, they could push, because Bale in the Premier League would be incredible. He's still got the pace. He can still belt it in from every angle. I think it'd be a great addition to the Premier League. I think with Bale, West Ham are pushing for top 6.
It's been a few weeks, but what is it like to be a Liverpool fan where you finished second with the highest points in the history of first-class English football. First time you scored that many points and no one's won.
Do you know, if I think I'd have been living here throughout that season, then I'd have been a little bit devastated. But being away from the madness of it all when it came, man, it wasn't too bad. I wasn't too disappointed, and you have to give it to City. As amazing as Liverpool were, City were even better. Somehow, with 97 points, Liverpool didn't win the league. With the ridiculous level of football they were playing, they just weren't good enough. And City were better. And next season, it's a two-horse race again next season, I think. We've still got a lot of transfer nonsense to get through. But I think it's going to be between Liverpool and City again next season. But yeah, you have to be a bit realistic about it. When you look at City's second 11, could probably win the league. Their second choice 11 players could possibly win the Premier League title. That's how good their squad is. So if you want to beat them, that's how good you have to be.
I was going to ask, who's going to be the biggest riser and who's going to be the biggest faller next year?
I want to say Everton could be in trouble. They're not a particularly young squad. They lost Jagielka. Coleman's not getting any younger. I think Everton could be in some trouble unless they do some serious business over the summer. Relegation, don't know. Newcastle, if they lose Benitez to this Chinese side, Benitez has been offered 12 million a year to go and coach the side in China. If Newcastle lose Benitez, I think he's the only reason they stayed up and did so well last season. I think Newcastle are going down. Don't expect much from Aston Villa getting promoted. I think they could be going as well. I think that the club to watch next season, other than top two, West Ham. If they make some key signings over the summer.
Yes! Speak the truth, my friend. You made me choose this team. Andy Carroll finally plays an entire season without an injury.
Come on now. So you must be excited anyway, buddy. Your Raptors taking the title there. I was excited for you, and I've got a lot of family in Toronto and like Scarborough and Guelph and kind of all these places. So I know they've been Raptors fans since forever. So they were all very happy.
Yeah.
So you must have been stoked, eh?
Yeah, I was pretty stoked. To be honest with you, when it happened, I was kind of relieved. Watching that sixth game, I knew it was in the bag when Sarah McLachlan sang the national anthem. And then when Golden State came back with the lead singer from Train, who looked like he had just got out of bed. So you know what? Don't put Sarah McLachlan up against Pat Monahan. You know what I'm saying? Never do that.
No, sir.
But I mean, honestly, it's nice to see the country come together. Obviously, first title. I do have to ask you though, Matty, you're not really serious when you say there are no Canadian players on the team, so we should be less proud or something to that effect. What did you chirp me? Because that's not how bad. It's not an international sport. We're not having just Canadians on the team.
I know. It was there's some let's say some Raptors fans who all of a sudden became Raptors fans, and I'm talking to Carpenter and a few, like, he's off Island at the minute. But there was just too much shouting about it. I was like, you've never watched a basketball game in your life. The Maple Leafs cap comes off and the Raptors cap comes on. So it was more a sly dig at those boys.
Yeah.
I was happy for the Raps. It's nice I lived in Toronto for a while, so I'm like, it's nice for Toronto to have a champion.
Yeah, I mean, we never know if the Leafs are ever going to get it together, right? So, I mean, they're going in the right direction, but they got a little bit of a... Well, let's transition to hockey then. The Leafs, the draft yesterday, first round, your boys, Moritz Seider, the Detroit Red Wings, out of Germany, a defensive right-hand shot, the player that everybody wants, a right-handed shot defenseman, and the Red Wings snagged one, 6th overall. The Stanley Cup, the Blues win their first in their franchise's history. Was anybody watching, Matty?
Nobody here. I was just so annoyed at the state of my bracket after the first round, and I wasn't going to be staying up till 3 a.m. to watch the Bruins anyway. Why would you?
Mm.
Surely the biggest thing for Toronto anyway is getting Austin Matthews on the front cover of Electronic Arts NHL.
Oh, yeah.
This year.
Mm.
20 or whichever one it is.
It's huge for us. It's huge. It helps us in the Mitch Marner discussions because he wants over 11. Matthews makes 10, and they're at a standstill right now.
And it's good. It's good talking to you today. I've lost a little with the time difference and not having, like my usual routine of finishing a morning show and coming home and watching Dan Patrick all morning.
Mm.
I'm losing touch with North American sport a little bit. But I guess after the summer I'll figure out a way to watch the Wings start their comeback into the big time. Yeah,
they're in a rebuild, right? Like all of the players.
They've been rebuilding for a while now, but
it takes a while in hockey, right?
They're like 10 years, 10 years.
Mm. Yeah, I know,
buddy. I'm gonna have to cut you off here, man. I gotta go.
Hey, man.
I'm going to discuss the glamour of what I'm doing this morning. My buddy's outside in a big white van. We're going to deliver a bunch of wine to a couple of places.
Sounds trusting.
I'm no longer a superstar. I'm just a guy in a white van driving around.
Brother, it's great hearing from you, and thanks for taking some time to be my guest this week on Let's Talk Sports Radio. People always ask about you, and hope to hear from you soon, brother.
You certainly will. Take it easy, bro.
All right, see ya. That was the Baron himself, Mathew Ian Sloane, off to do some Sloane Cold Steve Austin business. We want to thank him, of course. A little bit of everything this morning, guys. All right, more Let's Talk Sports Radio coming up right here on 94.9 Bob FM, brought to you by Gino's Pizza.